Imagine coming home to find your dead wife's legacy, her hand-built pool, half drained by a clipboard-wielding busybody who's convinced it's her divine right to own it. That's the nightmare that hit Jack Harlan like a chlorine-soaked slap, turning his quiet suburban oasis into a battlefield of petty power plays and buried secrets. Jack Harlan had always been the type to mind his own damn business. A retired engineer in a sleepy cul-de-sac of Maple Grove, Illinois, where the biggest drama was usually whose dog crapped on whose lawn. But his backyard pool? That was sacred ground. His late wife, Elena, had designed it herself, every tile, every curve, before cancer stole her away. It wasn't just water, it was her whisper in the ripples, her initials etched into the coping stone like a final kiss. Jack kept it locked, pristine, private. Not for selfishness, but because some memories aren't for sharing with nosy neighbors. Enter Brenda Sykes, HOA President Extraordinaire. Picture a woman in pressed khakis and a pearl necklace, smiling like she's your best friend while plotting to fine you into oblivion. Brenda had turned the neighborhood association into her personal fiefdom, enforcing rules that made the IRS look chill. For the greater good, she'd coo at meetings. But everyone knew it was code for "because I said so." She'd once fined a guy $500 for planting tulips that were too vibrant, said they clashed with the community's neutral palate. Jack? He was her white whale. The pool sat a hair's breadth from the property line, and Brenda had decided it encroached on communal space. Never mind the surveys, facts were flexible in her world. One evening, as Jack floated in the water, letting the day's grief dissolve, blue lights pierced the dusk. Two cops stood at his gate, looking awkward as hell. "Sir, we got a complaint," the younger one muttered, shifting his weight. Brenda hovered behind them, arms crossed, her face a mask of righteous indignation. "That's him. Officers. Locking up community amenities. It's a safety hazard." Jack climbed out, dripping, towel around his waist. "Community? This is my backyard. Brenda. Built with my wife's hands." She tilted her head, that fake sympathetic pout emerging. "Oh, Jack. We're all so sorry about Elena. But rules are rules. The HOA charter says any structure over 500 square feet must be accessible if it borders common areas." The cops exchanged glances. "Ma'am, does the HOA own this?" one asked. Brenda waved her clipboard like Excalibur. "Partial rights. Per our updated survey. He's been obstructive." Jack handed over his deed, the one Elena had notarized herself. "See for yourselves. Private property." The officers skimmed it, nodded apologetically. "Looks clear to us, sir." As they turned to leave, Brenda's voice sharpened, dripping with honeyed venom. "We'll see about that, Jack. Obstruction fines start at $200 a day." She sauntered off, heels clicking on the pavement like tiny gavel strikes. Jack watched her go, the pool lights flickering mockingly. He could have yelled, but no. He just locked the gate tighter, whispering to the water, "Not today, Elena. Not to her." The whispers started small, like ripples before a storm. Neighbors murmured at mailboxes, "Jack's hoarding that pool like it's Fort Knox. Heard he's got something shady buried under it, why else lock it?" Jack overheard it all at the grocery store, the gas station. He bit his tongue, smiled politely. But inside, he was cataloging every jab, every rumor Brenda seeded like weeds. She was a master at it, twisting facts into nooses. Then came the official inspection. Brenda showed up unannounced one crisp Saturday morning, flanked by 2 board members, Harold, a retired accountant who nodded like a bobblehead, and Sue, who clutched her phone like it was her lifeline. "Morning, Jack," Brenda chirped, as if they were old pals. "Routine check. Your gate's been reported as non-compliant, too high. Blocks the view." Jack leaned on his rake, eyeing them. "View of what? My underwear drying on the line?" Sue stifled a snort. But Brenda's smile didn't crack. "Community aesthetics. Dear. Now, open up so we can measure the encroachment." He unlocked the gate slowly, watching her eyes light up at the pool. 6 inches over the line, she declared after a quick tape pull, ignoring the original markers Elena had set. "That's HOA territory. We'll need access for maintenance." Jack crossed his arms. "Maintenance? With what? Your imaginary budget? This pool's never seen a dime from you." Brenda crouched by Elena's plaque, fingers tracing the initials with feigned curiosity. "Sweet. But personal engravings aren't permitted on shared features. It'll have to come off." Jack's jaw tightened. "Over my dead body." She stood, brushing dust from her knees. "Oh, Jack. No need for dramatics. Just compliance. Or fines," Harold muttered. "Brenda. This seems a bit much." She shot him a glare that could wilt grass. "Harold. The charter is clear. Trivialize it, and chaos reigns." As they left, Brenda paused at the gate. "Check your boundaries, Jack. You've crossed a few too many." He didn't respond, just stared at the plaque gleaming in the sun. That night, he pored over Elena's old blueprints in the basement, flashlight in hand. There it was, a faint note, "Legacy Vault. Waterproof. Under drain." His heart skipped. Elena had hidden something. And Brenda, with her inspections, was sniffing too close. The fines piled up like junk mail. Unauthorized lock, $150. Obstructed amenity, $300. Jack rubber banded them on his counter. A growing monument to absurdity. But Brenda wasn't stopping at paper cuts. One night, motion lights snapped on, revealing shadows at the fence. Metal scraped, someone tampering with the latch. Jack burst out, flashlight blazing. "Who's there?" Silence. Then footsteps fleeing. In the morning, fresh scratches on the screws. "Subtle. Brenda," he muttered. He upgraded to a keypad lock. But the rumors escalated. At the next HOA meeting, she played the victim card. "Poor Jack's isolating himself," she sighed to the crowd, voice laced with concern. "That pool could be a gathering spot. But he's turned it into a fortress. Safety first, folks." A few nodded. But Jack sat in the back, silent, noting who avoided his gaze. He befriended Mia, a young paralegal next door. "These plats don't match," she said over coffee, comparing HOA copies to city records. Someone redrew lines, fraudulent as hell. Jack nodded. "Brenda's after more than water. Elena buried something under there." Mia's eyes widened. "Like what?" "Don't know yet. But Brenda's probing." That week, another envelope, hearing required for repeated noncompliance. Jack showed up alone, facing Brenda and her cronies in the community center. "Jack. We're worried," she started. All maternal. Your pool's leaking into shared soil, environmental hazard. Bull, he said flatly. Prove it. She slid over a report, full of jargon and zero evidence. Our expert says so. We'll need to drain and inspect. The board murmured agreement. But Jack caught Harold's uneasy shift. Expert? Your cousin's plumbing company? Brenda's cheeks flushed. Irrelevant. Vote, all in favor? Hands rose like trained seals. As he left, Brenda whispered. Can't hide forever. Jack. He smiled thinly. Neither can you. Back home. He drained a foot of water himself, exposing the drain hatch. Fresh tool marks, Brenda had been here. He resealed it. Heart pounding. The game was on. And her overreach was turning comical in its desperation. The air hung heavy that afternoon. Like the neighborhood itself was holding its breath. Jack returned from errands to find his gate ajar. The pump howling like a wounded beast. Water gushed out, half the pool gone, exposing slick concrete and Elena's plaque like a desecrated grave. And there stood Brenda. Phone out. Filming with a smug grin. Evidence collection, she said breezily as he stormed up. Complaints about leaks. You trespassed. Jack roared. Voice echoing off the empty basin. Turn that off. She lowered the phone. Eyes twinkling with mock innocence. Hostile. Jack? That's another violation. The HOA empowers me to act in emergencies. Cops arrived minutes later, same duo. Looking exasperated. She claims authority, the older one said. Brenda nodded primly. He's obstructed maintenance. Look at this mess. Jack laughed bitterly. Mess you made. She's vandalizing my property. The cops mediated. But Brenda played the damsel, he's unstable. Officers. Grieving. You know. As they escorted her out. She shot back. Move on. Jack. Elena wouldn't want this drama. That snapped something. Jack spent the night by the drained pool. Wrench in hand. Prying the hatch. Underneath, a sealed metal box. Elena's handwriting on top, for Jack, our legacy. Inside? Documents, proof of HOA embezzlement from years back. Elena's secret audit before she died. She'd suspected corruption. Buried it for safety. In photos, Brenda's signature on falsified plats. Kickbacks from developers eyeing the land. Jack's fury turned to grim satisfaction. Gotcha, he whispered. Mia helped digitize it all. At the emergency board meeting Jack called. He laid it out. Fraud. Theft, your president's been cooking books. Brenda blustered. Lies. Fabricated. But Harold cracked, I knew. She made me sign. The room erupted, neighbors demanding audits. Brenda stormed out. Face twisted in rage. This isn't over. Jack smirked. Oh. It is. Court day dawned bright. Ironic sunlight flooding the chambers. Brenda sat ramrod straight. Lawyer whispering furiously. Jack and Mia presented blueprints. Box contents. Auditor testimony. Ms. Sykes altered records for developer deals, Mia stated. Embezzled dues for personal gain. Brenda's lawyer objected wildly. But the judge shut him down. Witnesses piled on, ex-board members spilling beans. She threatened us, one admitted. Brenda exploded, I brought order. You ingrates needed rules. The gavel banged. Verdict, Jack's favor. Pool private. HOA audited. Brenda fined. Removed. She fled the courthouse. Reporters swarming. Her empire crumbling in flashes. Weeks later. The pool refilled. Neighbors helped repaint the fence, not by force, but choice. Jack floated under stars. Box contents donated to prosecutors. Peace returned. But sharper. Earned. The HOA reformed. Bylaws sane. Jack whispered to the water. We won. Elena. But was Brenda the real villain? Or just a symptom of a system that lets petty tyrants rule? You tell me, in a world of absurd rules. Who's truly encroaching, the neighbor with a secret? Or the one wielding the clipboard?